right, so today we're going to talk about plot. What is plot? So plot is the heartbeat of the story. It's what makes the story happen. So at the beginning, we have the exposition. And during the exposition, we really focus on the characters, the setting, and I always say the situation. So we're trying to figure out what is going on in this world. What is the big, what are some of the problems that are happening? And then when we get to the beginning of our story, we have something like the main problem comes about. And the main problem really focuses in on what's going to drive the plot for the rest of the time. So it could be something like in Cinderella. Cinderella's big problem is that she wants to go to the ball. So you're always looking for what's the big thing that sets off the events in most of this book. Then here we have all, so this is kind of the beginning. So when we think about when you were little, you learned about the beginning of the story. This is the beginning. And then we start to get into the middle. And the middle is this rising action part. And rising action usually has a few big events. So these are the big pieces that we want to pay attention to as our story rises up to the climax. And this is usually the big action or the changing point. Then after that, we have the falling action, which is some of the events that happen after that climax. And then finally, we have the resolution. And remember, we don't always have to like our resolution, but this is the end of the story. So we think about the beginning. This is going to be our beginning. I'm going to say B. Our rising action to the climax is kind of our middle. This is where most of your book is going to be focused. And then your falling action and the resolution, this is going to be more of the end of the story. So when you were little, you were learning to retell the beginning, middle, and end. And so we're still focusing in on that, but now in 6th grade, we're just adding these different elements. So just to remind ourselves, we start out the exposition, then the problems introduced, which begins the rising action, which then leads to the climax. Then we have falling action, and then finally the resolution.